Paul Michaels. Now, Paul is the one that was the neighbor.
That was the neighbor. He's here.
Okay. So, for everyone, we interviewed Paul Michaels, and Paul lived in the early 1900s. He had a neighbor that was African American, and he wasn't as kind as he should have been to his neighbor. But he came through because he wanted to talk to us about that. So we're going to catch up with him and see what's going on with him now. So, Annette, if you want to bring in Paul.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hello, Paul.
Hello.
Well, we were doing some catching up with some of the people that we interviewed from the waiting room and from our past sessions, and we wanted to catch up with you to see where you were and what you were doing and how things were going for you. So how have you been?
It's been okay. It's, you know, I still working through some things, but
Okay.
it's been okay. I'm out of the waiting room. I did make it out. Certainly not ready to come back. There's so much that I still gotta do some work here.
Mm-hmm.
I still gotta make some reparations here.
So
I'm learning a lot.
you are.
I am. I'm learning a lot about what things I didn't know.
So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I still am sorry. They say I don't need to say it, but I say I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, if it's past, then
Well, no,
yeah.
not so much. I'm sorry for what's still happening.
Well, what you mean, and explain that for those who may not be familiar.
But in my day, it was bad enough what we was doing. But I'm sorry for what's still happening now. I look and it don't seem like much changed.
In some places, a lot has not changed. In other
And what
places,
I see the hearts of so many folks, and it looks like a lot of hearts ain't changed. And so I'm sorry. People's hearts is changing, but there's still lots of hearts that ain't changed. So from here, that's what I work on. I'm trying to work on myself. I'm trying to help other folks work on themselves too.
well, that's really good that you're trying to help others to change. And you do have a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. But otherwise, I'm doing all right. I think, once I feel like I made a difference here, maybe I'll be ready to come back and make a difference there too.
So what are you doing there to make a difference?
Well, there's a lot of folks who wasn't much different than I was. So we have to have talks and we have conversations, and we just get together and we help each other, try to understand each other. We have meetings with all different kinds of folks from everywhere so that people can just know each other and realize ain't so much different.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear
and
that.
I help talk. You know, I helped lead some of those talks,
Mm-hmm.
which I like that part. I wasn't never much of a talker, a speaker, whatever you want to call it. And I do like that part.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So are you in communication with your neighbor?
Yes.
Do you work together?
He lead one of the other groups now. He out here with me too.
Okay.
We work together. And I think that's why we do it together, because we both have that common experience, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
folks see that and they understand. They can
Well,
see
good.
both sides.
Mhm. That's
But
awesome.
he busy today. He's doing a lot of stuff today.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. That's good to hear. So are you also helping people on Earth?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's my next. So if we help people here, but when they go back down, that's helping people on Earth.
True.
But I'm not down there yet.
Okay. Okay. So I started to ask if you could come back and do it all over again, would you come back and do it all over again?
What part?
If you if you could come back and live that life that you lived in the early 1900s, I think it was about 1920 or so. If you could come back and relive that life, would you come back and relive that life again? And what would you do differently if you could?
I don't know that I would have the strength to live that life back then, even if I had the knowing I have now.
So why
I
is
don't
that?
know. It was hard. It was hard for everybody. I wouldn't want to go back. You know, those wasn't easy times for nobody, black nor white. It wasn't easy times.
Mhm. This is true. They were very
I'd
hard.
rather come back now. Now, but what I know now, it might be easier. I would make choices that was better.
Okay, that's
I
good.
wouldn't want to go back.
So your next step, or what, you just plan to keep doing what you're doing?
For the time being,
Mm-hmm.
until it's time for me to come back, and maybe me, or maybe we come back together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's like my brother now.
Well, that's great. That's great. So would you want to come back in the same race that you're in now, or would you want to come back and have a different cultural experience?
Now, we talked about that. Now he say he want to come back and have an easier life.
Mm-hmm.
He don't want to come back as a black man. So why he want to do that one again when he can have an easier life? And I said, well, it's the experience. And he said, well, you ain't never experienced it. I don't know. I don't know. I feel sometimes like if I come back as a white man again, knowing what I know, I can make it easier for other folks. I might be able to help more,
Mm-hmm.
depending on when I come.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're going to be doing some shifting on the earth and raising vibrations and
It's
bringing in
already
more love.
happening. Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it take time, and it take time. Because we got to do some work here first too, so that the folks who come into the earth are ready.
Well, this is true, but isn't that what the waiting room is about? And
That's
then
part of it.
it's
That's part
part
of
of
it. There's a lot of work though. It didn't go bad overnight.
it. Mhm.
So we doing what we can, and we're trying to send in some souls that are more ready for the next level, for the next phase, you see.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I think that is all I have for you, but if there's anything in closing you would like to share with those who are listening and who might come across this recording.
Just keep loving on each other. Love your brother. Love your neighbor as your brother. Because really, that's what he is.
Mhm.
That's all. That's all.
Thank you. Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you for coming and checking in with us, letting us know how things are going for you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting me talk again.
You're welcome. Till next time.
Yeah. Okay. All right now. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.